Howdy folks, hope you're all having a good one, and welcome to another episode of Mingles of Jingles. As you can see, I'm on the couch again this week, although it's just me this time. So, where to start? It's been a pretty, actually no, let's start with something humorous and then we'll move on. So, I got a notification on my phone this morning when I woke up from Amazon. They're always trying to sell me something. What made this one unusual was that it said that based on your purchase history, we have some recommendations for you. So, my purchase history: cat food, cat treats, cat feeding bowls, cat litter, cat furniture, cat trees, things like that. Amazon decided that based on that purchase history, I might be interested in dog food. No. So anyway, moving on swiftly. I've had a pretty lousy week for a number of reasons. So we'll start off at the lower end of the scale and then we'll work our way up. The first lousy thing that happened last week was my boiler packed up. So no hot water. This lasted almost 2 days, so no showers, no baths. If I wanted to wash the dishes, I had to boil a kettle. And also no heating. In February, the coldest month of the year, so that was fun. The first plumber or heating engineer that I called still hasn't bothered getting back to me, and on the second day I called someone else and they were there the same day and they fixed it, so it wasn't that bad. It only lasted 2 days. The next lousy thing that happened last week, excuse me, sorry about that, was I'd had a bunch of tests and I had to go to the doctor to get the results of the tests. So this happened on Wednesday, 5 days ago. And turns out I have diabetes. So that's fun. I don't know what kind of diabetes it is. But the diabetes, in the grand scheme of things, probably isn't what's going to kill me. Now, the bowel cancer that I got diagnosed with at the same time is probably going to do that. So that's a thing. Bowel cancer, of course, is what killed my best friend Eddie last year. Eddie, of course, got bowel cancer before it was cool, but I still think I'm coming out ahead because I got bowel cancer with a bonus order of diabetes in the same diagnosis. The ironic thing is we weren't even looking for diabetes, that was just a bonus extra. I had to give 2 different stool samples and 1 blood sample, and it was the blood sample where they discovered that there's some protein in my blood that's double the normal level, and that's a 100% guaranteed diabetes diagnosis. So I'm in for further tests, for the cancer as well. The only thing that of the 3 tests that they had me do, one of them was called a fit kit. It's funny because they never at any point mentioned the C word, because of course they don't. But of the 2 stool samples that I was supposed to give them, which I did, the fit kit, I looked it up. They didn't tell me what it means. It stands for fecal immunology test, and they're basically testing for bowel cancer, and that came back positive. The amusing thing was, when I was sitting there in the doctor's office, he went through all the results of the blood test first and he said, yeah, you've definitely got diabetes, so we'll get some more tests run, and it's probably just a case of management of your lifestyle, cutting down on the amount of sugar that you have, for example, things like that. He said, oh, and by the way, you're positive for bowel cancer. It's a sort of bonus at the end of the diagnosis. Now, I need to stress a couple of things. I feel fine. There's no pain or anything. I feel, well, as good as a 53-year-old man who sits on his arse all day and doesn't really exercise can feel. So I'm not in any pain or anything like that. I have no idea how bad the cancer is. I'm going to have a colonoscopy, that suffer the indignity of having a camera shoved up my arse for them to begin to find out exactly how bad it is. However, it's bowel cancer, so yeah, it's not good. It's the exact opposite of good. So until I know, it could be fine. People get bowel cancer all the time and they survive, or at the very least, they live a few more years, or sometimes they only live a few more months. I don't know. So I need more tests. That's all happening in the next couple of weeks. When I find out how bad it is and whether or not it's treatable or not, that's going to inform what it is that I'm obviously going to be doing in whatever time I have left. My main concern, because I've got no dependents, I don't have children or anything who are depending on me, but I do have 2 cats who you can't see right now. Akazuki's over there having a drink from the water bowl, and Zuzi's curled up in her favourite box. And I need to make sure they're taken care of. And Rita has always said that if anything happened to me, she would take care of the cats. So that means I need to make sure that Rita has somewhere to live as well, so they're not all homeless. And that naturally is going to be this place. Here's the problem though. I've only paid off half of the mortgage. And I did plan to pay this whole place off this year, after the first 2 years of the mortgage, so I've been saving money up. Unfortunately, last year I got the biggest tax bill I have ever seen, so that kind of scuppered my chances of getting this place paid off in 2024. But then, of course, I had this bowel cancer diagnosis, and I really do need to make sure that if the worst comes to the worst and I do end up dying, this place is paid off, so Rita can afford to stay here without having to take over a mortgage or anything and take care of the girls. So in the short term, what that means is sponsorships. Now, I already do sponsorships, but I curate them very carefully. I do things like NordPass, which I think is an amazing product, things like Incogni. Yeah, I don't do a lot of sponsorships. That's going to change, right? Because I need to get this place paid off and make sure that the cats and Rita are taken care of. Primarily the cats, but Rita's looking after the cats. She's going to be taking care of them, so I need to make sure she's got some place to live. So I'm going to be taking, let's just say I'm going to start lowering my standards drastically on the subject of the kind of sponsorships that I take. I don't care. Raid Shadow Legends, fine. If you're listening, I'm in, right? I don't care. I need the money in order to ensure that this place is paid. And I don't end up dying with an unpaid mortgage. This may end up not being a problem. It may be that it's entirely treatable and I'll live to, well, if not a ripe old age, I won't die in the next 3 months. And it will not end up being an issue. But until we get further tests done, I just don't know. So I'm planning for the worst possible case. So I need to accept as many sponsorships as I possibly can. Sorry, I'm just looking at Akazuki. You see something very interesting out of the window. It's a shame they're not coming over to sit on the couch. But cats are cats, they do what they want. But yeah, that's the basic plan. I just thought I'd let you all know. And I must stress, I feel fine. I don't actually feel any ill effects, either from, well, not so much from the diabetes, because when the doctor saw the blood test results, he said, "Are you feeling very thirsty?" And yes, I do get that a lot. I wake up at night when my mouth is dry as bone and I have to guzzle lots of water, and that's it's an indication of whatever type of diabetes I have. But it's the bowel cancer. That's the big concern, because that's a killer. I mean, diabetes can kill you as well. But if you've got a double order of diabetes and bowel cancer, it's probably the bowel cancer that's going to get you. So I need to plan for that eventuality. In the meantime, it's going to be business as usual around here. Obviously, I don't need to stop working. I need to keep making money and ensure that the mortgage is paid on all this. But I just thought I may as well keep you all up to date with what's going on. If there are any breaks in my video schedule, it may be because I'm undergoing chemotherapy. I don't know, but I'll try to keep you all up to date. This, of course, is also why you've started seeing Sunday videos. Although last week's Sunday video was just a bonus extra. I didn't actually get the diagnosis until 3 days later. But yesterday's Sunday video was because I need to work in order to ensure that my baby girls, these 2 kitties, are taken care of. Because at the end of the day, if I die, a big big deal. I'll be dead. I won't care about anything that I've left behind. But I do care about these 2 cats. So I need to make sure they're taken care of for however long they have left. So yeah, a bit of a bummer this week's episode of Mingles.business. But it is what it is. There's no sense in hiding from it, and it would be foolish of me in the extreme to just stick my head in the sand and hope that it was all going to go away. This is something that I do need to take care of. Hopefully I'll be around for years to come, but until I have further tests done, I just don't know. So I'm planning for the worst. And on that bombshell, that's it for this episode. Very short episode, but I'm sure you can appreciate why, of Mingles with Jingles. I do hope you've all had a fantastic weekend. And I hope you're all going to have a great day, whatever the day may bring for you. In the meantime, as always, take care. And I'll catch you next time.